Welcome back to BIRT TV. I'm Mark Gamble, and we're reporting live from EclipseCon 2014 in Burlingame, California. It's actually our great pleasure to be joined today by Mike Milinkovich. Mike is the Executive Director of the Eclipse Foundation since 2004. He supports both the Eclipse community and its commercial ecosystem, and under your leadership, Mike, the community has really grown and flourished over the years, and we're very proud that BIRT's been able to sort of go along for the ride. I wanted to ask you a few questions today. Specifically, your keynote was very popular, lots of great tweets coming out of there. One of the things that you concentrated on, you showcased, was an IoT dashboard, the People Counter app, which was a joint effort from Actuate as well as Eurotech. And it tracks various environmental metrics going on in the Grand Ballroom and seemed to be a really big hit. So I wonder if you want to elaborate a little more on that and some thoughts on the IoT dashboard. People Counter
sure. So Eclipse has been very active in the IoT space for a number of years now, and we've put together a total of 14 different open source projects doing various aspects of the Internet of Things technologies. We sort of break it down into protocols, frameworks, runtimes, and tools. And surprisingly enough for Eclipse, tools is the smallest one of those groups. We have several different protocol projects. We have a number of different framework projects, and a number of different runtimes. But one of the highlights of the People Counter application are being driven by the Cura project, which is a device gateway framework written in Java and OSGI that uses this MQTT protocol underneath the hood. So MQTT is is a publish and subscribe style protocol that was specifically designed for doing telemetry data for very lightweight, power-sensitive kinds of devices. And in what the Cura framework provides you is what's called a device gateway framework. So the standard Internet of Things architecture is you have a bunch of devices talking to a device gateway. Then the device gateway is consolidating that data and sending information up to some sort of back end. It could be an enterprise system. It could be a cloud service that is accumulating data from a number of these different device gateways. So the People Counter app is a great end-to-end example of what you can do today with these open source technologies from Eclipse. So it's a complete end-to-end application with a collection of sensors sending data to these device gateways. Then the data is going up to an enterprise server, which then that's where Actuate's BIRT project comes in, and you've got this ability to analyze and report the data. And the dashboard is a really nice pictorial representation of the people moving through the conference, and as you said, the environmental factors, and all of this is from the various sensors in the room. The thing that I particularly like about this application is the fact that it's a complete end-to-end solution. It's not just bits and pieces. It actually flows right from the code running on a device all the way through to a really nice looking dashboard that in a real world scenario a decision maker could be looking at and making decisions from.
Sure, definitely. And I think really its real-time aspects really were part of the popularity as well. Not only was it giving useful information, but it was very timely too.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually truly real time.
Yes. Really good example, I think, of the IoT concept. Speaking about IoT kind of in more general perspective, can you comment on the Internet of Things in general, and does it continue to be open, and how do you see big data fitting in?
So the Internet of Things is at the moment sort of the hot new date in the technology industry, if you will. Sure. It seems like as I get older and older, the technology industry is becoming more and more like the fashion industry, and definitely IoT is the current hot date. But there's going to be money made and value captured through lots of different parts of the whole IoT ecosystem. But basically you've got potentially billions of devices. When you talk, I think some of the numbers I've seen is that by 2020 we're talking about 50 billion devices.
Wow.
So just the amount of hardware and the processors and the communications chips and everything just to put that much hardware out into the world over the next let's say half a decade to a decade is just an astronomical sum. Then you've got all of the bandwidth and required and the infrastructure required, whether it be Wi-Fi or wired or 3G or all these different types of communications protocols that are going to be obviously people are going to be buying and and providing that infrastructure as well as buying the services. Right. But the sheer amount of data that is going to be created from all of these networks and these sensors, as you said, it truly is a big data both problem and opportunity, if you will. Well put. So and because of course with that many sensors talking in that many different scenarios, data overload is going to be a problem, and really the ability to analyze and report and synthesize this data in real time, or in certainly something approaching real time, is going to be where the real money is, to be honest. Obviously there's going to be money made in the devices and the connectivity and everything like that, but the companies who can both create the infrastructure for providing these analytics and the companies that learn how to use them most effectively in tuning their businesses are the ones that are going to be the early winners in the IoT space. Great insights, definitely. You're watching BIRT TV. I'm Mark Gamble, and we're speaking today with Mike Milinkovich, the Executive Director of the Eclipse Foundation. One more question for you, Mike, if you would. Can you sum up or kind of tell us, what do you think will be the next big technology buzzword in 2014? Besides IoT? Good enough, yeah. It seems I'm sticking with IoT. There's a lot of folks that are in the same club, so yeah. I think definitely we can definitely agree with that. Yeah, cloud was so last year. Indeed. So great. Thanks so much for being with us today. And again, Mike Milinkovich, the Director of the Eclipse Foundation. I'm Mark Gamble. This is BIRT TV, and there'll be more coming up soon.